Welcome back, everybody. This is Jason Seacrest. We are going to go through another fun little cartoon tutorial on Adobe Illustrator. Today we're going to go nice and slow so you can follow at home or in the classroom. First thing that we are going to do is go File, New. Let's just set up our artboard. And pretty much all of our tutorials will have a 5x5 in inches. Everything else is pretty much defaulted out. RGB 300. Most of those aren't going to matter as much. It's just going to be what your output is going to be. Most of my stuff is online, so I'll go RGB. Next, I would go, and I personally don't like to do artboards. I just would like the look of all white a little bit more. Next, I would turn on your smart guides. Then I'll let you know if you have a path when your mouse is over the anchor points and or the handles, and it will take away a lot of the frustration as you are learning the program. So I would recommend having smart guides on. Alright, next, File, Place. We are going to look for our teddy bear. All of our resources are hanging out at jasonseacrest.com. You will see there is a nice little email form, and I will email you the entire folder. And my recommendation is that you save the folder as a bookmark, and then you can get access to it whenever you want. And then also, as I keep uploading new files, you will immediately have them, so you don't have to keep putting in your name. That is not the intention. Just do it once, set it and forget it, and then you'll have all of our resources to be hanging out with us. So one, I just changed the size of our anchor to just kind of fit in our format, 5x5. I am going to take the opacity and let's just drop that down to around 30. That looks good. I'm going to lock out the layer. Let's create a new layer, and I'm just going to label that one inking. We can hide that for now. Now I already tore off the menus and the tools that we're going to be using. Most of it is going to be the pen tool. I will be going and doing Shift C as well, and then you will be kind of bouncing back and forth between Scissor Tool, erasers, and things like that. So that is where most of that's coming. Let's prep our fill for none. And the reason for that, if you've ever tried to do it with a fill, you're just going to figure out that it covers up your anchor point guides pretty quick. So that is why we do not do a fill for right now. Okay, I say we can get going. Let's have some fun. So I'm going to zoom in, and my recommendation for everybody, especially if you guys are learning the program or really brand new with it, is zoom in as much as you can. It is going to take away almost 90% of the frustration on what they think your mouse is grabbing. So if you keep grabbing points and things like that, just be kind of aware of how zoomed in you are, as well as what tool you are on. So if you're using black arrow, white arrow. So I'm going to do a nice little circle to start off with. Let's just kind of, and all I'm really looking for is down here. We're going to modify some of this. So I'm going to go right by the lip here. I'm going to click on C. C is our scissor tool. And whenever I say shortcuts, just realize this is one for easy access, but it's also so you guys can see what's highlighting. I'm going to come up right by this hair, and then I'm just going to delete that part. Click on P, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it on the video, but I'm going to hover. My smart guides will say it's an anchor, and you will get a little slash. Hold down Shift, and then I can continue my line for the lip. Alright, that looks good. I say we leave that point for right now. I'm going to come over and do our little hairs. So let's do a real simple way of doing it. I'm going to click on plus. Plus is my add anchor point. And what I'm looking to do is I'm going to click on it, go in the middle, and so wherever I see where it comes back in, I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to zoom in so you can see all my little points. So notice that I have point here, middle, point, middle, point. And again, this is the middle one's not that big of a deal. The reason for it is we are going to take those, drag it up, take that, drag it up, Shift C, bing, bing, bing. Okay, so now let's just zoom out so you can see Method of the Madness here. Is this one's pretty much hanging out. That one's fine. What I'm going to do is get rid of this one. So I'm on the minus, by the way. So if I go plus, I'm going to add an anchor point. If I go minus, I'm going to subtract it. And we should just be able to hack that away. And what we're looking for is a nice, smooth up into that hair. Alright. I am okay with that. I'm just going to pop that over just so it's not exactly perfect. Let's do some ears. I'm not holding down shift, I'm just dragging that out. I'm going to just squash it, and then I'm going to pull this one out a tiny bit until we basically line up with our points. Go to C. C is our scissor tool, by the way. I'm just going to snip, delete. Alright, that looks good. Let's do some more little circles. I'm just going to drag until that curve looks okay, using my arrow keys to move down. Go back to C. C is a scissor tool. Let's just say right around there. And whenever you're doing the scissor tool, just double check that it does say path. And then also just double check that you are deleting the right side of it. Okay. I do want that line right there. That looks good. So part of the head. Alright. And what we're looking for is just to kind of have a little rounded pizza shape. C. Okay, let's just delete. Now notice, I'm going to zoom in so you can just see this, just in case you guys are new on the scissor tool, is we've got our line. If I highlight, it's going to be very confused on what line we're trying to actually cut. So just move directly past it a little bit until the top part of the ear is not highlighted, and then I can use my scissor tool. And then I can delete. Alright, good. Let's work on some hair. And hair, for the most part, pretty easy. We're going to do some simplified hair today, just to give you guys some options. But I'm just using the line tool, and I'm just kind of pulling these out so they're pointing in the direction. So notice that I'm going in the direction of the angle. If you want to kind of call it a tangent a little bit, that would be fine as well. Your math teachers will love that we're using math terms. Alright, good. Let's do this little guy. So I'm going to grab all of that, black arrow, hold down Alt Option, and Alt Option will give you that little white arrow. If it's not giving it to you, just double check that you have selected it with the black arrow, by the way. We're going to move it up. So it's basically a drag motion. And we are just going to pull that down. Let's zoom in. I'm going to use my scissor tool. We're just going to need the little back part. That was it. Made our life easy today. Alright, let's keep crushing it. Alright, let's take that hair. Let's just move it to where we think it's supposed to go. I'm on white arrow, by the way. Good. I'm going to do line tool. And line tool will act pretty similar to a pen tool. The only difference is it doesn't keep connecting. So you just do one line and then you're done. Alright, I see some easy ones. Let's do some circles. Alright, for the template, that's all I did. I'm going to do a little bit more of a bulge effect. So we're going to drop down to warp, drop down to bulge. Let's just pull that right over here. Just zero everything out when you start off with. Preview. And then we do want it on the vertical axis, so let's say -15. I'm okay with that. And all that's going to do is give it a little bit more of a teardrop shape. I'm going to come over to Object, drop down to Expand Appearance. I'm going to go Control-C, Control-F. If you guys are working with Macs, All that is Command, by the way. It's the only one that changes from Mac to Windows. Okay. I say we're okay with that. I am holding down Shift as I'm scaling. Alright, let's leave that for now. I'm selecting both with the black arrow. Hold down your Alt option. Drag that over. Now I'm going to hold down Shift and Alt. And then we will just squish that a little bit. Alright, good. Let's go pen tool. Let's get this nose done. And we are going to walk you through each one of these little anchor points, so especially as you get into crowded areas, we'll walk you through it all. I am on Shift C, by the way. I'm still on Shift C. Alright, that looks good. Let's do P again. Now as I go into crowded areas, just try and find a little blank space, just so it doesn't think you're trying to connect those points. I'm going to take this one. We are going to drag that one up or down. Get a nice little curve. Alright, looking good. I'm going to do a circle. We're going to have some fun with this one. So what we're looking to do is, let's just scale this. Alright, good. I'm going to go Shift C. I'm going to go right down to this bottom one. And I'm just going to do Convert. I'm then going to take my white arrow and let's just place that where we think it's going to go. Good. Now you can just move these points if you really wanted to, just so we can get a little bit fancier of a nose. I'm going to go Shift C, and I'm just dragging that guy over until it lines up. Good. Shift C again. I'm actually okay with that. So what we're going to do is, let's just snip there. Let's just snip off that extra. Let's do a nice little circle. I'm not holding down Shift. I'm not doing any of that. Looking good. We are doing our scissor. Good. Let's just do our little overlap. Again, here's the nose line. So as soon as it goes past that, and then we can delete. Remember, when we add our brushes, we want a little bit of an overlap, and that's going to make our life a little bit easier. Let's just plop that right there. Shift X. Let's just zoom in. Good. Control 0. Let's see what we need to do. Let's do the mouth here. One right in the corner here. Shift X. Shift X, just so you guys are aware, is the little toggle back and forth. So it'll just toggle if you have a stroke or if you have the fill and you just want to flip those two. That is what that will do. Alright, let's do P. There's a whole lot of mess right there, so that is fine. You might be able to see it hanging out under the corner there. Shift C. Good. Let's do P again. Shift C. Just take your black arrow, Alt, just line those up. We'll just snip off any of the extra black arrow. Delete, delete. Alright, let's do our tongue. Now this one's just going to come right through here. This is going to give us our little, well, it's a butt. I don't know what else you want me to call it. So it's going to come down. Good. Tomato? I guess we can call it tomato. I don't think it's nearly as accurate, but that's okay. Alright. And we're just going to line that up. Black arrow. I'm going to squish this top a little bit. Okay, see? A little bit of an overlap under the bottom lip there. And then I can just delete that back half. Alright, I've got a rounded rectangle. Let's just see what this is. Yeah, let's take that back. Let's just do a nice little, let's do an oval. So I'm going to do an oval. I'm going to go Shift C, by the way. We're just going to knock this top part. And then while you're doing Shift C, just pull this out. And I'm holding down Shift until I get fairly close to being straight up and down. And that'll give us a little bit more of a squared off tooth. If you wanted something a little bit sharper, then you can just keep these a little bit tighter. Okay. I think the face is done. Little boogie check. Do you see anything? I do not see anything. Let's do the arms. Let's do some ice cream. Now a lot of these are just the fur lines. So let's just do all of the basics first. We'll get all those lines down and then we'll worry about adding the fur at the end there. So some of this in the shoulder, that is just what we did with the ears. I'm holding down Shift right here, by the way. Good. Good. Let's go P. There's going to be all sorts of lines hanging out over here, so let's just simplify our lives a little bit. Now this is more than likely going to get covered up, but just so this line flows a little bit nicer, let's keep that there. Let's just crank these out, and then we'll come back. Now after each one of these, I'm clicking P. So after every one of my little fingers, I want to click P, that it's going to reset the line. So if your lines keep connecting on you, that's what the P will do. It'll reset the line, and it won't try to connect itself. Now that's probably going to get covered up by the ice cream. Let's just drop it down. Good. Oh, let's do the rest of it. Let's just show you some speedy ways of doing this. I'm going to go P. Click on P again. Click on P again. Let's go 1, 2. Let's go 3 down there. Okay, now let's just start cranking them out. So this is, if you were saying how would I actually do them, this is how I do it. So I do all my straight lines. Then I can just come back in with Shift C. Now this is going to get snipped off, so I'm going to go C. I do just want it to connect where I want, though. Good. Delete. Let's go P. Let's do it again. Rapid fire. There's our knee. Click P. Heel. Right there. Click on P. Click on P again. Toe. Toe, toe, click on P, click on P. Alright, ready? Shift C. we're just going to round that guy out. Drag that guy up. Let's drag that one down. Line it up, line it up. Round out the heel here. Remember, just hang on to your points until it goes in the right direction. Let's just drag that guy out. Round out the back of the knee. Good. Let's do this little guy over here. Good. Let's do the tail quick. That one's quite easy, by the way. Most of that is just our little fur later. Let's just round that out. Let's just, let's keep that point right there. Alright, let's bang the knee out. We're going to go 1, 2, 3. Click on P. Click on P again. I think these all go together until right there. Click P. Okay. That was it. Hard part's over. Let's just do Shift C. Just line those guys up. Let's do our knee. Good. Let's do the toes quick. And all we're really doing is just rounding things out here and there. Round it out. I'm going to pull this one out. I want this one to be a little bit rounder, and then I'll pull this guy back in. Good. That's actually okay. Alright. That was it. Hard part's over. You did it. A little bit of a circle. Just squash it. Another little ellipse right over here. Let's bring this up so it covers up that back toe. Alright. Just drag that guy over. Control Z. Oh, I totally forgot about the ice cream. Oh, here we were getting all excited that we were done, and we forgot about our ice cream. Pen tool. Let's just line those up. All this is going to get really covered up by the ice cream, so I just wanted to go right through that finger, just in case you guys want to modify this at all. Alright, we're just dealing with circles at this point. Just going to squash this up. Now you could put a little bulge on it. I'm not going to do that right now. Let's just do a circle. We are going to do some bulges on a lot of these drips though. Let's go circle over here. And you might be able to see this big circle. Let's go scissor. Let's delete right there. Let's delete. Okay, good. Let's get rid of the top. I think most of this is going to be kind of bulged out. So let's do a circle. Good. I'm going to go effect. Let's go down to warp, bulge. Let's just see where we're at. It should probably go in the other direction a little bit. I'm not concerned. That's not too bad. I'm going to go object expand. And now we're just basically using this same shape, and we're just going to modify it from here to here. Let's just drag that up. Good. Let's just copy it. So we're going to use that same shape and just kind of match it up with this. Good. Let's do a tiny guy over here. Good. Let's just grab that guy over. So I'm just looking at this bottom shape right here. Let's just line that up. A lot of these tops are going to get cut off, by the way. Alright, let's just bring that over here. And let's actually connect that one. So I want to bring this guy up a tiny bit. Okay. These are all done. Now we get to do our scissor tool. Scissor. Let's just go snip off here. Get rid of that. Scissor tool. I'm just seeing where we're going to cut things off. I say right there. Let's do this guy. Scissor tool. So basically getting rid of the top on that one. Same thing over here. We're just trying, really just on most of these ovals, we're just getting rid of the tops. So it'll start looking drippy as they start overlapping with each other. That's C. This one's going to be the behind one, so that most of that can get rid of. C. Let's just get rid of that top. I want that line. Let's just get rid of that bottom half. I'm going to zoom in so you can see. Just get rid of the top half on the little drip. Good. Alright, let's clean this up so you guys don't yell at me. So this line can basically get chopped off of there. Good. Most of this is going to get chopped off, but I'm just going to do a little bit of the overlap. Now sometimes you'll see lines going all the way through things, and that's just so when we add our brushes, that these lines are actually going to stay consistent going all the way through. So sometimes you'll see some lines that are annoying, especially if we're doing it this way. But we just want to make sure that this flows together. But I say we can probably get rid of most of these. Good, since we just are dealing with the bottom there. Let's get rid of that overlap. Good. Okay. Definitely save. Let's save. Teddy bear inking. Save away. Pretty much the little pop-up, by the way, always default. Alright, so the only really thing we have left is you'll see all of these little lines. So what we're going to do is we'll just grab the ones that we have. Let's just reflect them. Vertical axis. And we can modify these shapes a little bit. This is just so we don't have to do these things over and over and over again. And all I'm really looking to do is take this little, I'll call it a little nook, if you will. And we're just taking that nook and basically putting it right onto the curve. And we'll modify this later. So, good. If I want to modify anything, I'm on white arrow. And I can just drop those down. Hold down Shift. You might see the little guy over by the knee. I'll scale this one down. Good. I'm just going to do C. Let's just get rid of that little overlap right there. And again, you can always scale. We can always move these to where you want. What we're really looking for later is when we add our brushes, that's going to determine quite a few things. I think we just have one little last one, and then There's one. Let's just rotate that. Okay, white arrow, and I'm just bringing that point up. Let's just get rid of that. Good, good, good. Alright, boogie check. What did we miss? Did we miss anything? Hairs, hairs, hairs on tail. Okay, file save. Alright, so this time what we're going to do is with inking. Again, I always like duplicating things. I always like having them. Lock it out. Let's call this guy brushes. And since we're not doing too much coloring in the color demo, what I want to do is I want to end the inking demo here. We are going to add on our brushes, and then we'll basically, that's where we're going to start off with the next demo. So this will give you kind of a good time, especially if you do not have your brushes hanging out in user define yet. This would be a good little chance to go watch how to install your brushes, go to the descriptions to find the little codes so you can find the brushes AI file as well as how to install them, and then you can save your brushes, and then we'll be starting that off with the next demonstration. So teddy bear is done, all the hard parts over, which is awesome, and then we'll basically do some fun stuff with the coloring and kind of making it a little bit more like a vintage print for a children's book in the next demonstration. So thanks for hanging out, and I will see you guys in the next tutorial.